Welcome, Leo, to the month of December 2018. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and or rising signs in the fifth fiery sign of Leo the Lion. And because every one of the transit readings begins with your sign on the ascendant and or rising sign cusp of the first house of the self and body, we will focus on your ruling planet, the sun, starting out in your fifth house, your naturally residing fifth house of the house of romance and creativity. Now, the month starts out on December 1st with Mercury moving into or going retrograde back into the sign of Scorpio, into your fourth house of the house of the home at 11 hours and 13 minutes. And then also on December 1st, the moon in Virgo in your second house of money subsequently sextiles Mercury, having gone retrograde and moved backwards into the watery sign of Scorpio, which, by the way, is also a fixed sign like yourself. You're fixed fire and Scorpio is fixed water. And so now with this moon sextile Mercury retrograde, your feelings will be very positively reflected within the home life, despite the fact that Mercury is retrograde. So that's very good news. And and then on December 2nd, Venus moves out of Libra, which Venus rules Libra, but Venus moves out of Libra and moves into Scorpio as well, into your fourth house of the home. So you'll be loving home life at this time of year, as we all should, as it's the holiday of Christmas time. And then on December 3rd, the following day, Uranus in Aries, in your ninth house of law and higher education, opposes the moon once the moon enters your third house of communications. And let's see, I'll just do it however the best I can here. And makes a 180. So Uranus makes a 180 or opposes bringing emotional awareness to how you communicate, causing a bit of a big amount of maybe challenges and possibly even setbacks. However, this is interesting at this time of year that the planet Uranus somewhat focuses on other cultures, other lands, and as we hope to focus on peace on Earth at this time in our society, it's a great time to bring awareness to emotional communication with a sense of justice and balance. And that will bring you that awareness and maybe some kind of insight and, in other words, a love of how you communicate in unique ways. Then on December, and that could be, by the way, that could be through social media. In other words, to and through other lands is how I see that. Then on December 5th, Mercury conjuncts the moon. And a conjunction is a 0 to 8 degree, very close-knit aspect, almost as if it's the sun and moon together in the new moon phase. However, the moon in Scorpio conjuncting Mercury, now retrograde, gives you that sense of wanting to perhaps emotionally possess the conversations a bit, as Venus rules Libra, and since Libra rules your third house of communications, this can sometimes make you appear somewhat possibly bossy, but not in a bad way. Just sort of like intense, Yeah. Like you're just like gung-ho in a positive sense. And however, with Mercury retrograde, be careful of signing anything for the home, perhaps any last month of the year, kind of any kind of contracts to deal with the home, like any kind of breakdowns or repairs needed. Be careful of signing anything. However, the following day, on December 6th, Mercury goes direct. So get out of here, retrograde. And now Mercury is direct in your fourth house of the home, making you even feel much more direct. However, as everyone knows, there's a shadow period and a time to kind of continue on with that. We've had enough retrogrades all through mid 2018. Enough is enough. Then on December 7th at 7:22, the new moon occurs. The new moon phase occurs in Sagittarius. And I love it when the moon is in Sagittarius, or even when it's in Scorpio and then moves into Sagittarius, because it's such a joyful time. And it's the perfect day to feel joyful as well as reminiscent of historical and or times past, as it, the month of December is kind of that way for a lot of us, and especially you, Leo, because Leonines tend to be quite sentimental. I know, because my mother is one. And so the new moon occurs at 15 degrees Sagittarius, 7 minutes, and it's a time to go within and reassess, or maybe even start a new romance. Then on December 8th, Uranus also still transiting in the sign of Aries. Oh, and if I've mentioned in the previous month, it will eventually go back into Taurus. It's just temporarily retrograde in Aries, in your 9th house, but it makes a harmonious trine to the new moon as the new moon builds toward the first quarter. And this trine then brings the possibility of taking your new romantic partner on a long distance journey. Perhaps you'll even, I don't know if you're gonna like the late actor Mickey Rooney. I don't know if you'll absolutely propose on the very first date, but some people actually do if they have love at first sight. And this will give you that feeling of sudden bursts of inspiration and or sudden harmonious newness within not only the 5th house of romance and creativity, but the 9th as well, because it deals with something almost like otherworldly. Although the 12th house is that house of otherworldly. This, though, still deals with spiritual and or philosophical matters. The 9th house does. And so this will give you such a sense of wowness, And then on December 10th, 2 days later, the moon then goes into Capricorn, into your 6th house of health, work, and service given, and squares Uranus. So Uranus in your 9th house in Aries, a cardinal fire sign. Your fixed fire, Aries is cardinal fire. This in Uranus, making the 90-degree square to the moon in cardinal Earth. This then gives you quite a bit of a perhaps emotional responsibility to what it is that you're working on overseas, and or in general, in a general sense, the impetus to be unique in possible publications, perhaps? Anyway, like, say, poetry if you're a poet, or something like that. Then, on December 12th, Mercury moves into Sagittarius again, into your 5th house of romance and creativity, at 23 hours 44 minutes. Then on December 13th, Uranus sextiles the moon once the moon goes into the sign of your opposite sun sign of Aquarius in your 7th house of others and significant partnerships. And now Uranus sextiles, or makes the 60-degree positive but short but sweet flowing aspect between Uranus in Aries and now your opposite sun sign of the moon in Aquarius, giving you that. See, look at how interesting this is. Moon in Aquarius, yet Uranus rules Aquarius. So this then gives the reason why it's the sextile, and or the fact of the matter is that it gives you that sense of, and this is fixed air. Aquarius is the fixed air sign. And this then gives you that sense of emotional, positive ideas and or insights that can suddenly become something progressive, as Aries is the first but yet also pioneering progressive sign, and emotionally you can see yourself forging ahead in something you've really been working on, possibly in partnerships with business partners and or others. Then on December 15th, the first quarter moon occurs in your 8th house in Pisces at 23 degrees Pisces, 27 minutes. First quarter moon happenings, sort of stemming from the new moon, like baby steps. Gretel, that's okay, honey. Calm down. That's my miniature dachshund making herself known. Gretel, it's okay. Boofing. Okay, please, Gretel, don't get all escalating on me. Okay, first quarter moon happens at 11:50 in your 8th house of others' resources in Pisces. And this then gives you that sense of possibly being able to spiritually, intuitively tap into the need to be able to directly, now that Mercury is direct, ask for help from others as resources. Then on December 18th at 7:22, Uranus conjuncts the moon. Once the moon enters your 9th house in Aries into the house of law and higher education, and now, once again, this conjunction gives you that emotional spontaneity, perhaps, in the sense that you feel like you can really be much more spontaneous in 9th house matters. And then on December 20th at 0 hours 43 minutes, Mars, having gone into Pisces in your 8th house, thankfully, I know because my natal Mars is in Pisces and I'm glad it's there now, or will be there, excuse me. Not until I think near the latter part of November. This then also already is, I'm recording this a little on the late side, but it's November 8th. Hard to believe. Okay, so Mars in Pisces makes the positive sextile to Moon in Taurus, the grounded Moon in Taurus. Moon in your 10th house of career. And again, this is going to be awesome for the ability to emotionally ask for some kind of financial backing from others as resources for a promotion in your career, that sort of thing. Then, on December 21st, the Sun leaves Sagittarius and enters your 6th house of health and work in Capricorn. And this changes a few things. It causes us all to be a bit more serious and less foolhardy or whatever. Or, I mean, it's not going to cause us not to have joy, but it does sometimes bring a bit of, well, in my case, because I'm a Pisces, it brings on melancholy with me. But I'm going to be working on that. I don't have family much anymore to celebrate the holidays or Christmas with. So, that being said, it's all good because most of my family is well, let's just put it this way, they're distant. So, I'm realizing that friendships matter most. Now, see, the reason I pointed to that is the 11th house governs friendships in all charts. You've got Gemini on the 11th house cusp, and Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is in your 5th house in Sagittarius, so you're going to be able to communicate very joyfully as well as positively with any existing friends or new friends. And for that matter, friendships mean a whole lot more now that I'm realizing it than it does with sometimes family. Anywho, moving right along, on December 22nd at 14 hours 22 minutes, Uranus sextiles the moon. I am assuming I said that from this direction, it was a sextile when the moon was in Aquarius, I believe. Anywho, now the Uranus in Aries positively sextiling now, here we go, with the moon in Gemini in your 11th house of friendships. This then gives you a general sense of emotional well-being and sudden inspiration inspired by and with friends. And then you can go on some kind of long distance road trip or anything like that with that aspect. Then moving right along, the full moon occurs in your 12th house of the subconscious mind and dream state in the sign of Cancer. I hope you all can see this because the sun is setting, and since there is a fire, a major wildfire up in north of me, way north in Northern California, there is so much smoke, so it's blotting out the sun. If I have to, I'll turn the light on. I hope you can see this. Maybe I should turn the light on. So here comes. I see the light. Okay, so now the full moon enters Cancer at 0 hours 49 minutes. And this then gives you, the ability to highlight or illuminate the hidden matters of your mind. Maybe you'll feel a need to possibly go within. But since your ruling planet over here entered Capricorn into your 6th house of work, you may feel the need to escape through work. And if that's what you need, then so be it. See, this may be a need for you to escape through work or escape into your Christmas holiday. Then and by the way, here we go with Christmas Eve, December 24th, Uranus squares the waning full moon, bringing you a bit of maybe a bit of a frustration, perhaps, and sometimes a bit of emotional upset. But it's only short-lived, remember that. It only happens the day before Christmas, and you know how it all is with Christmas time. We all go through stresses. And then, even though there's no aspects on Christmas, Merry Christmas, by the way. And this is my little angel. my family heirloom. I put it on atop my tree, my little tinfoil tree. It actually works. See? Isn't she beautiful? She's so cute. There was a pink and blue one, but I don't know what happened to them. Meanwhile, the angel sits on top of earth, and you are here, and peace on earth, and Merry Christmas, and goodwill toward men, and all that good stuff. And then the following day, the day after Christmas, December 26th at 1538, Uranus trines the moon once the moon enters your sign and makes the very harmonious 120-degree flowing aspect between the Uranus in the fire sign of Aries to the moon now in your first house of the self and body in your sign. So now, with the moon here, you may want to be careful that you don't overindulge in sweets. I'm only saying. But, however, with this trine, you will feel much happiness, so maybe you won't need to resort to overindulging. However, it happens also, even if you are happy or not. Then on December 28th at 16 hours 28 minutes, Mars in Pisces opposes the moon in Virgo and does the 180 and makes you feel that there is a need for awareness between your values and those that others hold. Others' values versus your values. That's what's going to be occurring on December 28th. And there's going to be a lot of spiritual energy, being that Mars is in Pisces. So that's going to be good for you. And then on December 29th, the last quarter moon occurs, coming pretty much full circle in 7 degrees Libra, 36 minutes, in your third house of communications. And so a balanced sense ends out the last month of the year, and a balanced emotional sense. And as you do have Libra on your third house of communications, you always feel like everything has to be justified emotionally, and or a sense of balance in law and justice. I know several people with Leo rising. My mother's a Leo with Leo rising, and now I understand why she was such a stickler for the whole, everything has to be justice, this, So, let's see, what else? On December 30th at 22 hours 55 minutes, Uranus opposes the moon. So, again, there's a need for awareness. Last quarter moon phase, wrapping up last moment, perhaps deadlines in communication and or paperwork of some sort. Awareness that, as I was just pointing out, awareness and or challenges that not everything is justifiable, or not everything in the world, there's not enough good enough justice at times. Well, anyway, not to get all, no way, I'm not going to go political on everybody. And I'm trying not to be too politically correct here, but I do hope that everybody had, or will have, excuse me, I hope that everybody will have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I don't know if you can see that. Cheers. I'm going to wear this. I have a whole set of these. I think I bought these at Michael's. I don't recall, but yeah, this is going to be, I'll wear this possibly on New Year's Eve. I hope to be able to celebrate New Year's Eve this year. At any rate, I hope you did enjoy my reading for you. And feel free to like, give me a thumbs up, comment down below. Thank you for looking up upon the North Star. And feel free to subscribe. Yay. Okay. And I do appreciate your time your valuable time in listening to this. I love you guys. Bye for now.